What is up, everybody? My name is Justin. This is Forever Self-Employed, and in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at a parking lot striping job that we almost lost $4,000 on because of one crucial mistake, and it wasn't 100% our fault, but I'm going to be going over that in today's video, so you're going to want to stick around until the end to see exactly what happened. But this video is going to be great for you guys because we had a bunch of things go wrong on this one, so if you guys enjoy these breakdowns and learning from our mistakes, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. Let's see if we can't make this one of the most liked videos on the channel. This job came through on a Facebook ad. I've been telling you guys my Facebook ad strategy has been absolutely crushing with parking lot striping, and that's because it crushes with pretty much any niche service. So if you guys are interested in how I run ads to land $4,000 jobs like this one that you guys can be watching today, check out my Facebook ad strategy. It'll be the first link in the comment section and the description. But this job came through on Facebook. It was a little farther out than we typically travel, but when this guy came through, he said he needed his hotel parking lot striped and the front of the building washed for the grand opening of his restaurant. And anytime there's like a big job, we always, make a concerted effort to land it, especially when it's multiple thousands of dollars. If it was like a small house wash, we probably wouldn't travel outside of our area to take care of it. But I know what you guys are probably thinking. Justin, I've seen hotels, I've seen restaurants, and this doesn't look like either one of those, and you'd be correct. This guy actually purchased a building that used to be a bank. He cleared out the whole thing. The top floor was like a huge office area of the bank. It was very similar to like a giant loft, and he sectioned off 8 rooms and made it into a big Airbnb / hotel space. So the top floor was pretty much the hotel. He also built a restaurant and a bar on the first floor that he was going to be doing the grand opening for, and then the side of the building that used to be the main lobby of the bank and then the vault area, he turned that into a space that he rents to the city to be a public library. So this dude's a huge entrepreneur like us, and that's why whenever we came out to do the quote, we connected immediately. He gave us a tour, we walked through the job, we ultimately ended up landing it, obviously, because we're doing the job now. But this guy was on a time crunch because his restaurant had its grand opening in 2 weeks, and unfortunately for us, at this time, it was during the summer when it had been raining nonstop day after day after day. So we scheduled a day to wash the building between rains, but as you guys may or may not know, you can't paint on a wet surface, and when you do paint, it needs to remain dry for a pretty good amount of time or bad things will happen, which may or may not have happened at the end of this video. So we told him that we would do our absolute best, but we explained the situation and said that, we would do whatever we could to get it taken care of within the time frame that he needed it to be taken care of, but we wouldn't risk it because we didn't want the parking lot to be worse off than it was currently. So the Friday before the grand opening, we saw an opportunity. We finally had a night where it wasn't supposed to rain. We worked a full day that day, and then we went out there in the evening time to try and knock everything out. But let me tell you guys, this was a big job. There was tons of lines, handicaps, curbs, wheel stops, 2 big sections that he wanted no parking zones because people were blocking up the flow of traffic and they were blocking like a big dumpster that he had. So for those, we had to create a new layout, which basically means that we had to measure everything out, tape everything off, which is probably the most time-consuming thing that you can do on a striping job. And I say all that to give you guys some context as to how big of a job this was that we were trying to just knock out that night. But as you guys can see from this video, the job went relatively well. We were cruising through until about the halfway point, and that's when everything kind of took a turn for the worst, if you will. So for anybody who watches football, whenever something happens in the game that swings the momentum, like an interception, it seems like everything starts to crumble for the other team. Well, that moment for us was when Buddy stepped in one of the arrows that we had painted earlier on in the night, and it wasn't completely dry, and he started tracking paint through the parking lot, which is terrible. You never want that to happen. We didn't know it at the time, but this was a negative change in momentum for us. We did get a good laugh though when he fell over after he realized that his foot was full of yellow paint. But what was even funnier than that was the fact that Kale forgot to tell the owner about the accident, and the next time we were out there walking the property with him, he told us that some drunk guy had walked through the parking lot after we had striped it, and we had to tell him that no, it wasn't somebody who was drunk, it was actually just Buddy who wasn't paying attention. Now in Buddy's defense, parking lot striping is like walking through landmines. You don't really know what's wet and what's not, and then you forget to watch your step, and before you know it, you're tracking paint all through the parking lot. So we did our best to remedy that, but like I said, it kind of took a turn in the momentum for us. After that incident, you could tell that we were getting tired. We started to get a little bit sloppier. We didn't tape off as much as we probably should have. Lines weren't as crispy as they had been in the beginning of the job whenever we were fresher, and then it happened. So after we painted the new layout red lines on a night where if you had checked your phone, you would see that there was a 0% chance of rain in the forecast. It began began to drizzle, and it wasn't like a little drizzle that kind of just like goes away. It was a progressive drizzle that evolved into a shower that lasted about 8 minutes, and I kid you not, I looked up, it was a single cloud. It was like as if God had sent one cloud that night to rain on this parking lot, and it moved right over us, and it was just long enough to completely ruin the red lines on this new layout that we had just striped. The camera doesn't really do it justice, but if I was to compare it to anything, I would say it looked like a clown had a good cry, right? And we felt like clowns because it wasn't supposed to rain, so now we look like idiots, right? But we were freaking out, and unfortunately there was nothing that we could do about it that night because the ground was wet. We didn't know if it would rain again, so trying to fix it was pretty much out of the question, because if it did rain again, it would only make the situation worse. So we just pulled up the tape, took some pictures for the owner, and we got ready to have kind of a tough conversation with him. And I'm actually going to save that conversation and the owner's reaction for a part 2. So if this video gets a ton of likes, I'll drop it really soon. So if you haven't already, hit the thumbs up button. But if you made it this far in the video, comment down below red lines, and I will hashtag you a real one. My name is Justin. This is Forever Self-Employed, and until next time, hustle hard and get that money, baby. Peace.